What is up, guys, and welcome back to another day with the Auto Works. Well, I know you guys are probably tired of seeing me paint fenders over and over again, so here it is. We got a whole car to paint today. Well, my wife, this is her 2011 Kia Forte. Now, as you know, she's got the Color Shift CRV, and she loves that thing. She won't get rid of it for nothing. But unfortunately, this car, her very first car, has just gone by the wayside, and she's ready to sell it. Well, we have a buyer, but the buyer has one stipulation. They want us to paint it. What color do they want to paint it? And what kind of shape is the car in? Well, let's get into it. Alright, so first things first. This is a 2011 Kia Forte EX 4-door. Now, it's had a few little bumps, a few little bruises. It's had a few little, it's got a few little dings. It's not a perfect car, but it's a great car. Everything on it's mechanically sound, and we're going to be sending it to a new buyer. Now, I've already taken the liberty of removing some of the emblems, and I'll show you what I used to remove them. And it had pinstripes down the side, which I hate, so I removed those too. And I'll show you what I used to remove them, and as you can tell, I didn't damage the paint at all. So you're going to want to stick around for that. But all in all, it's a great car, and well, we're going to put a Rustoleum paint job on it for her. So I'm excited. I know she's excited. Let's get into it. Alright, so before we get too far ahead of everything, you guys are probably wondering why I didn't show the footage of me removing the pinstripes and everything. Well, I recorded it on my new camera, and let's just say we got some work to do with that before it's ready to go. But we will be upgrading visual and audio soon, so I've heard your comments, trust me, and we're working on it, guys. Bear with me. Anyways, this is a little rubber wheel. You can buy this off of Amazon.com. I'll put a link down below. If you decide to click on it, I do get a little bit of a kickback, but it doesn't cost anything extra for you guys, so win-win, right? And it works great for removing pinstripes, for removing emblem adhesive. I say put it on an electric drill like this because it has a little more oomph, and it takes it off like you won't believe it. I did the whole car in a matter of about 10 or 15 minutes, so you can't beat that. But anyways, like I said, the link will be in the description, and let's go ahead and get into the paint materials for today and what we're going to use. Alright guys, so jump ahead a little bit, and I've been sanding. I actually decided to use 320 to get the car and started taping up a little bit, and we're going to clean it really good with Prep All. I'll show you what to use. But yeah, sometimes with these Rustoleum paint jobs, I like to use 320 and then lightly go over it with 600. Or sometimes I'll just let it roll with 320. That's just the way I've always done them, and I haven't had any really big issues with sand scratches. But anyways, let's get to cleaning this. Let's get it taped the rest of the way up, and I'll update you guys when we're ready to spray. Alright guys, so the color of choice for today is Rustoleum Gloss White. And we're going to be thinning it out with acetone. We're going to be spraying it through my Vevor gun. And I've already went over the car with 600 wet sand. And we're going to wipe it down really good with Prep All. I did it before I actually taped it up, but I'm going to wipe it down again with Prep All right before I paint it. And just make sure everything's good to go. It's about 65 degrees in here. And hey, let's get the spraying. Alright, so I got my Rustoleum, I got my acetone. Now you can use paint thinner to thin this out. It's pretty much just a preference. They can just specify acetone. I don't know why, but it is what it is. I've used both and it turns out fine. Now there seems to be a lot of debate around Rustoleum paint and how much to thin it out, whatever else. My rule of thumb is at least do it 70% paint, 30% acetone, or 30% thinner. Now, I've heard people say 60-40. I've heard people say 50-50. You can do 50-50 if you're comfortable spraying it that thin. It really just comes down to preference. I wouldn't go any thinner than that, and I wouldn't go any thicker than 70% paint, 30% acetone, simply because you run the risk of getting clumps and clogging your gun up and having all kinds of issues. So I've already sprayed it safely at 70% paint, 30% acetone. Do what you want at your own risk, but that's how I'm going to do it today. I got me a paint cup from work, and I'm just gonna pour some in, start mixing it up. We'll load up the old Vevor gun and we'll get to spraying. Alright, so I got the car all prepped up, sanded down as you saw. I did start with 320. I ended up going back over it with 600 just to make sure. I've had a lot of people say that they've had issues with their paint jobs. This has happened, that's happened. Guys, it's all in the prep. 90% of the paint job is in the prep, 10% is in the actual painting. I know people hate to hear that. I'm the world's worst. I hate sanding and cleaning. But if you want a good quality paint job, if you don't want to have any issues or reactions, there are two big rules of thumb that I always follow. Clean, clean, and clean again. And also, don't paint in heavy humidity. It will make paint and everything else do crazy stuff. But we're going to get to mixing up the paint and we're going to get to spraying. So let's jump on into it and let's get this knocked out. Alright guys, so we're not finished by a long shot. I just tacked it up. This is the first coat. This is a tack coat, guys. You don't want to have to worry about full coverage or anything like that. We're basically just getting the paint on so it gets used to the surface and so everything can tack off good. You want to let this set off and dry for about 20 to 30 minutes. Just take your time with it. This isn't a rushing game. And as you can see, I'm going to walk you around the car and show you what it looks like after the first coat. I don't know if you guys can tell, but you can kind of see some streaks. I don't know how my camera is going to do with these fluorescents, but if I turn from that angle, you can kind of see the streaks in it. Like I said, we are not going for full coverage. It is turning white, and the big thing with this is if you put it on too fast, you're going to get runs, and you have more of a chance of reactions and stuff like that, but it's going to be nice and shiny. Rustoleum does give a really good glossy finish. And when this stuff hardens up, boy, it is durable. But it is a lot of work, but it is worth it like anything else in life. Just gotta take your time with it. Put your coats on one at a time. Probably gonna do 3 coats on this thing. That way I get ample coverage. After the next coat, I'm gonna put it on a little bit heavier so it will be a little bit more solid and no streaks. And obviously this is white, so it's pretty easy to spray other than the white overspray in the air making it hard to see where you went. But yeah, this is coat 1, guys. Let's jump into coat 2. Alright guys, so second coat is done. I'm getting hot and tired. This is just typical. I'm showing it to you as I go. With second coat, you want to go a little bit heavier. You can pretty much go full trigger now, just back off. What you're trying to do with second coat is get full coverage. That's your main goal. Just kind of look and full coverage it, back off. It doesn't matter if you got dry spray spots or anything like that. As you can see, it's starting to get glossy looking. I'll take you around the car in a minute, but like I said, second coat is strictly for full coverage. Get that out of the way, and then the third coat, you let it dry a little bit more this time, guys. Do about 30 to 45 minutes. First coat was about 30 minutes. This one really about 45 minutes to an hour. Get a really good tack because you did go heavier on it. And after that, that's when you wet it out, guys. The third coat is the finishing coat. You want to go ahead and give it to it, full trigger, but move quickly. You don't want to stay in one spot too long because you will run it. And depending on how thin you decide to mix the paint, just know your spray pattern. But you try to chase that white line, or chase that wet line. Sorry, I'm tired. It is what it is. But coat 3, let me walk you around the car real quick and show you what coat 2 looks like. And then we'll get into spraying the final coat of Rustoleum. Alright guys, so I do have some dry spots and stuff, but coat 2 is pretty glossy. As you can see, if you remember those streaks I had on the hood from coat 1, they are completely gone. So we do have full coverage now. Yeah, it's coming out pretty good. Like I said, there are a few dry spots, and it's really hard when you're shooting white because you get white out. Well, that's what I've always called it. But you get the white paint overspray in the air, and it just kind of makes it a little bit harder to see over a white and chase that line. But yeah, you just chase that wet line on the third coat, guys, and you should be fine. Like I said, don't stay in one place for too long. And man, we're almost there, guys. One more coat and we'll have her slicked out and the Rustoleum paint job will be done. So let's get that third coat on and let's get this thing finished up. Alright guys, so 3 coats of Rustoleum, and a couple hours later we have our final product. Now this was very cost effective. It was only $60 for the materials. Just need a gallon of Rustoleum paint and some acetone, and I mean the results speak for themselves. You ain't going to beat it for $60 in materials. Now obviously it took other stuff too. You got to take into the factor I used a certain spray gun and the compressor setup and all the prep work that went into it. So, but if you have just the basic necessities, just a small air compressor or whatever, and you take your time, you can get results just like this, if not better. And like I said, for 60 bucks, I mean, it looks like thousands of dollars went into painting this car. But hey, it is what it is. Budget paint jobs for the win today, guys. And if you're interested in any of the materials I used today, I'll have them down in the description. You can go to my Amazon affiliate page, pick them up, and do the same project yourself. And if you do, share them with me, guys. Send me some pictures. WhitleyAutoWorks@gmail.com, or you can hit me up on Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, or Instagram. And I love to see your projects, love to see what you guys are doing. And obviously, you see what I'm doing. I put it up here all the time. But I appreciate you guys for watching today. If you made it this far, please consider hitting that subscribe button, dropping me a like and comment. Let me know what you thought of the paint job, what do you think of the white, and what colors would you like to see. If you want to see something crazy, I've got color shift on the channel. I've got all kinds of paint jobs, and we got all kinds of paint jobs in the works coming at you soon. So I appreciate you guys spending time with me today, and I'll see you on the next episode of Whitley Auto Works. Have a great day, and God bless.